Hello and welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and we are on day number 5 of our Too Many Bones playthrough, going after Drellen Paleface, the current tyrant in the land of Daelor. And where we left off in the last video was we had just gone ahead and set up this particular battle mat right here. So we are going to jump right into the battle and see how this pans out. Now I can tell you right now, having the advantage of the 2 round stun I should say, from our traps on this particular figure right here, the Goblin Howler, or sorry, oh my gosh, the Griffin Howler was an awesome advantage to get. So I've got 2 stun kind of dice sitting there representing the 2 rounds, and I'll take them off as we go through. We're going to start with our very first round and see where we go from here. Now remember, we've got ourselves our toxins, we got a med kit, we've got ability to roll up to 4 dice or a combination of movement as well on the battle mat. But we thankfully have placed ourselves smartly right in front of the weakest target on the mat right now, the one that can't attack back. So we're going to go ahead and target this guy right off the start. Now, the very first thing you do is talk about your initiative, and as of right now, actually, we don't go first. It looks like this guy right here doesn't go first. So what we'll do is we'll move this blue initiative die to the top, stating that this one is gone, and we'll take one of the stun off of him. So now he's only got 1 left, but is still stunned for this round. So that's really good. Now we'll go to Patches, who's ready to go. Now, like I talked about in the prior video, I am definitely going to attack this guy while he is not in flight. He has a nasty flight ability, which we were familiar with from the other video, where if at the end of their turn, well, at the end of an attack, they essentially go into flight and they'll disappear up off the map and you cannot target them anymore, and it's really a pain. So the cool thing is he's stunned. Let's hit him while we can. So 3 attack dice, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. So we've got our 3 attack dice pool. I'm also going to bump I'm gonna use toxins right now on this guy. You might sit there and say, well, this is kind of a waste. It might be, because it's debatable that it might be more useful on this guy here. But at the end of the day, well, I don't know. It is a tough call. The other thing is too, is that I could hit him. I could hit him for 2. I could hit him now, and I could also move 2 so that I'm in position next turn to go after both. So I could hit him now and move 2, meaning I could use 2 attack dice instead of all of what I was going to use. So maybe I'm changing my mind here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hold the toxins off, and I'm gonna use them on this guy. I'm gonna do like a poison for poison battle with him in case he ends up being more of a problem than this guy is, because he's got 2 rage, which is gonna allow him to start attacking me back. So I'm gonna hold on to the toxins. I'm actually changing my mind here. And I'm also gonna change where I start on the battle mat. I'm gonna move myself to here. And in my very first turn, I'm going to move to here so that I can, in 1 dex move, be next to both of them. So here we go. I'm starting right now. I made a little adjustment there. Hopefully that, and again, that's kind of, I'm allowing myself to do that because I haven't actually gone with Patches yet. I mean, normally you choose your battle mat position first. But the other thing is nothing is triggered from any of these guys' abilities. Nothing on the game mat has changed, although we did take off 1 stun die. But we knew that was going to happen anyway. So this strategic movement was just me rethinking how I want my turn to go. So just so you guys are aware, I'm not cheating. I'm just, well, I'm playing solo. So at this point, I do have the ability to move it over and start from here. So this is what I'm planning on doing. So we are going to move ourselves with 1 dex to get in position. And I'm still going to go ahead and attack, as I was planning to, the Griffin Howler. Okay, so here we go. We're going to roll 3 dice and go after him and hope for the best here. See if we can do enough damage to maybe take him out in 1 hit. He does have 5 health. That's quite a bit. Let's see how this dice roll pans out. We got a bone and 2 hits. Okay, so not bad, but not great. So we'll go ahead and take 2 health off of him. And then we're going to go ahead and take a bone and put it in our backup plan. All right, so it wasn't exactly the biggest hit in the world. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more than that. Now, Patches would normally do on his turn, he would have done his heal, but he's already maxed out, so he's done. Now we're going to come over to here to the Manicore, who's going to initiate. And when he initiates, he's going to attack me for 2, but he, as of right now, is at full health, so he's not attacking me using his rage just yet because he needs to be under his full HP max, like max essentially. So if I go to the rage portion of this counter, it says if the unit is not at full HP, it gains that number of additional attack dice. So it would gain 2, but he is still at full HP, and I'm going to avoid hitting him until later. He is, though, going to poison me, so he's going to hit me with a poison counter of 2, meaning when I start my next turn, I'm going to take 2 damage off the hop. But remember, Patches heals, so that will be somewhat okay. So here we go. We're going to reset, go down to round 2, and re-go. So here we're going to have the Griffin Howler go again. The Griffin Howler is stunned, so his stun token is now removed. But he cannot do anything this turn. It'll be round 3, and then he'll be attacking me. Now it's Patch's turn. I'm going to take the 2 damage or poison hit from him, but luckily, and then of course this counter is going to tick down to 1, but Patches heals for 1 as well, so I'm just going to go like that. So there we go. It only took me for 1 damage in the end, so that's pretty good. And it's my turn. So I'm going to go ahead and do my attack again on him because I need to get him off the board before he has a chance to. I'm going to roll 3 dice. Plus, I'm going to roll my defense die. I'm doing this so that I can potentially get ready for... well, let me think about this, actually. Yeah, defense is fine. I think defense is fine. I'll go with defense, just so I have it. Because once I start hitting him and he starts being able to use his rage, I want to have something ready to to be able to handle that. So here we go. We're going to roll and see if Patches can do some damage against the Griffin Howler. What do we get? 3 hits and a 2 on defense. Awesome. So that 2 is going to go right up here in the active area. So that's great. And then we got 3. Guys, that is exactly the number we needed. 1, 2, 3. That Griffin is dead. So before it had a chance to even do anything to me, it is off the board. We'll now take his initiative die, place it to the side, and all the HP is gone off that character. That's awesome news. So that's 1 less guy to deal with now. We only have to deal with this silly Manticore. So we're going to go ahead and this is going to go up because I just went with Patch's turn fully. And now we're going to go ahead with the Manticore. So he is going to poison me again. So essentially he's going to, now because again his rage doesn't kick in because he still is at max health, but his poison ability ticks this back up to 2. So at the start of my next turn, I'll be taking another hit. And we move to round number 3. Round number 3, I get to go first because I'm at the top. Yay, but when I go ahead and go first, I get hit by 2 poison, minus the 1 that I use for healing myself, and this counter ticks down to 1. So 1 damage will come off of me. We put that aside. That's great. That's a great thing about Patch's ability to heal himself is that every time I take 2 poison damage, I'm only taking 1. It's really helpful, whereas I think some of the other Gearlocks don't have that ability. They'd probably be, the poison would actually do a lot worse damage to them. So here we are, we're right next to him, and now this is where I'm going to use, my defense is already set, so I can't roll a defensive die. I'm going to roll 3 attack dice, and I'm going to roll my toxins. So this is going to be quite the attack here, and my hope is to, poison him. I don't need those ones, I'll take these ones. So I got these 3. Here's my toxin roll, and we're going to hope that we can muster up some type of poison on him to cause him some grief, which would be awesome. Here we go. Nice! A 3! That's crazy. Oh, okay, now this one's cocked. It's on the side. I don't like it when it sits like that because it could go either way. So I'm going to re-roll this one to be fair. Even though it looked like a 2 and a bone, it was a 1. Okay, so we got 3 hits on him. And we got 1. Oops, we got a 3 on the poison. Oh, that's a 2. We got a 3 on the poison. Okay, awesome. So this poison marker is going to go on top of him. I'm going to do a double check real quick to make sure. Yep, poison jar. Place the numbered poison effect die on your target. Perfect. And he's going to get poisoned. Yeah, he's going to be poisoned every single turn now, which is amazing. So that's going to be huge help. He sits right here, poison. Each target takes the true damage equal to the effect die, and then you reduce it by 1. So that's amazing. He's going to take 3 damage the next turn. He also just took 3 damage right now. So you know what, guys? 1, 2, 3. That puts him at... I've got enough of a poison on him that he is gone when he starts his next turn. That is so sweet. So now my turn is done. These attack dice are out of the way. And this is where things change a little bit because now he's going to go ahead and activate, but his rage is going to activate. So not only is he going to poison, so first he's going to poison me for 2, so the counter is going to move back to 2 on me, but then he's going to use his rage, and his rage allows him to roll 2 attack dice when he's not at full HP, which he is not anymore. So he's going to take 2 attack dice and come after me, and I do have 4 health, so that's the good thing. I have 4 health, which means 2, 3, 4... Wow, that's so close. So things could go south here for me. But remember, I do have my active 2 defense dice. So I'm going to hopefully block everything here. Because I rolled that in advance, thank goodness. If I had not have had that defensive dice, guys, I would be in trouble. And you know why I'd be in trouble? Let's just hypothetically say that I didn't have this. I would take I would be taking 4 damage from him right now, which would flat out kill me. Right now, that would be it. Game over. Because I had this in play, I'm safe. I can negate one of the 2s that was rolled, so I only take 2. Of course, my defense dice disappears from the active area as well, but I only take 2 damage. Now, the other crazy thing about this is there's another way I could have died as well. Now, technically, he's done his turn. Oh, shoot, actually, now that I think about this, he wouldn't even be able to hit me for that. My mistake. Because at the start of his turn, he's poisoned, so he would take... sorry, guys, I might have messed that up. I actually may not take any damage at all regardless. Because the poison ability says... target takes true... let me see. Set or reset the poison die. Target takes true damage equal to the effect die at the start of their turn. So that means because I was able to get this on him before the start of his turn, I don't take any damage. In other words, technically, this die never was even used. These 2 defense, or these 2 2s that were rolled never happened because he never would have had the chance to do it. This effect 3 poison would have hit him the second he started his turn, which is right now. So basically all 3 of these go into effect and he is dead. Didn't even have a chance to do anything. I was able to wipe him out that quickly. That's awesome. So he is gone and... Whoa, I dropped it on the floor. That's a good thing about having high quality components is you can throw them off the table and they still look just great. So we were able to go ahead and kill him off. The mana core is dead. He goes into the 5 baddie pile. Sorry guys, I hope that's not confusing as to how that landed. Now the one thing I will do is put 2 health back onto Patches. And the reason I'm doing that is because the mana core should have never rolled those 2 attack die. He never would have been able to because at the start of his turn, the poison die, the toxin die would have triggered and he would have not even been able to attack me. So he would have been dead, meaning I still would have 1, 2, 3, 4 health. So there it is. Of course, when I've gone ahead and I've killed everything off the battle mat and it's all said and done, all effect dice and things like that come off of Patches, and we can go ahead and reset all of the dice back into the applicable rows. So all of these go back as if they've never been used, and the round counter can go back to 1. I'll take my initiative die and Patches back to my mat. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 as we mentioned, which is just 2 shy of what he would be full health. I don't get to keep my bones or my active dice, or sorry, everything in the backup plan goes and the active dice go. So those are all up here. And that's it. And the toxins, of course, comes back to my mat. So we did it, guys. We cleaned that up pretty fast. I thought that was going to be a little rougher than it was, but I think because of the way that scenario worked with us putting the traps down, and also the ability for also the smart choice of taking the toxins, you can see how crazy important those can actually be in terms of putting some damage on somebody. It's just wild that they take true damage. That's going to be huge against really, really big enemies. So the cool part is now we get to gain everything on the bottom here. So we gained our 6th progress point, which means we now currently are in Shellfish. So we've made enough progress to be with Drellen Paleface, meaning that in the next day, we could attempt to go after him, although I'll likely go for an encounter. We'll see. But I'm thinking that we need to buff ourselves up a little bit more. We gained 2 training points, and we also gained a loot. So what I'm going to do here, because I think this is kind of fun, is I'm going to go ahead and do the loot first, and then we'll talk about the training points in a second. So here we go with our loot card. Let's see what we got. We got the Mechanical Assistance, and it's a single-use card. It says increase your dex by 3 for this turn. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. Now, that seems cool because, yeah, I guess this could be really good when you're fighting like a really big boss, like even Drellen, for instance, and allowing you to roll a lot of dice at once, maybe get into a really strategic position and do a lot of defense and stat dice and attack dice all in one go. This is a debatable one, though. So what I'm going to do here, we're at the end of day 5 currently on this track. I'm not taking it over to 6 yet. And I'm actually, the only thing I'll do is, actually I'm gonna leave this to you guys to figure out how we do the next phase. So I'll show you where we are currently. We just did an encounter. We went ahead and we were successful in it. We're now right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow you guys to chime in on this spot here and the recovery phase. So I'm gonna give you an overview of what we got here. So again, for this phase right here, the first couple questions I want you guys to chime in on is, how do I spend these 2 training points? This is my current layout for my battle mats. You can take a look at the stats up there in terms of what I could or maybe not upgrade. You can let me know what you think. And this is my stat area currently, and these are the things that I could potentially boost up. So again, I've got 2 training points. So what I want you to do in the comments below is let me know what you think I should boost on patches prior to the next day, so we can roll it the next day and just keep running. So that's the first question. So go ahead and throw those in the comments. That'll be awesome. I will wait for your feedback to figure out what we do. And then what we have to talk about is about the recovery phase. So after that dividing spoils and applying training points and that type of thing, then we go up to recovery where we can do lockpicking, loot trading, and individual options. So this is the 3 choices I want you guys to give me feedback on right here. It says individual options. We can either rest and recover, so our HP to full. So just so you guys are aware, that would allow Patches to go from 4 right now to 6. So he's ready for the next day, fully ready in terms of health. Or we could search for better loot. We can discard 1 loot and roll 6 attack dice. For each bone you roll, reveal a loot card, and you may keep 1 only. So essentially what we could do is either one of these we could discard, roll 6 attack dice like this, and if any bones come up, for every bone that comes up, we can pull a new loot card, take a look at them. If we end up getting 4, say we get like 2 or 3 bones, we can pull 2 or 3 loot, and we can pick one of them to essentially replace whichever one we discarded, but we can only do it once. So if you think, now for me, I can tell you right now, I think the stone hammer is very, very useful because when we get a trove loot, we'll be able to punch through one of the locks really quickly. I think this is something we probably shouldn't discard. This one, on the other hand, I'm debating. I'm like, this is a one-time single-use thing. Same as this, it's single-use as well, but this one just increases your dex by 3, and yes, that is handy, but I just don't know, like, I guess it is handy for potentially maybe a final boss type situation, but I think there might be something better in the loot deck than this. Maybe something we can use more often or more than just a single use. I don't know, and that's the gamble with going and doing this kind of this search for better loot thing. But I want you guys to chime in on what I should do there. And if you guys don't want to discard either of these and you think they're both valuable, then the other option is to scout the area like we did in the past. You can roll a d6 and find out what's kind of coming up ahead here in our next encounter. So on a roll of 1 to 3, we can do a 1-point baddie, 4 to 5 is a 5-point baddie, and a 6 is up to a 20-point baddie. And of course, whatever level you get to, you can always look at the one lower. You just can't go any higher. So, and we can cycle it to the bottom of the stack if we want, or leave it on top, kind of revealed like we did before. So, 2 things to chime in on. First off, what do I spend my training points on? Take a look at my math. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And also, in our recovery phase, should we either heal Patches to 6 HP from the 4 he currently is at? Should we discard a loot and roll 6 dice, hoping to get some better loot? If we don't roll any bones, we just end up losing a loot. Remember that. And the other option is to scout ahead. We could take a look at one of these particular stacks based on a d6 roll, which is also random. So there you go. There's your choices, and those last 3 were kind of either or. You don't get to do all 3 of them. So let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys are enjoying. So far, things are going good. I don't know how, but we're winning. We haven't messed up yet, and I hope that little mess up with me taking the attack from the last baddie there, the Manador, or Manticore, sorry. That made sense to you guys. I accidentally went ahead and attacked me with his rage when he actually should have been hit for poison and just died instantly. So hopefully I cleared that up and you guys aren't confused by that. But anyway, until the next video, guys, thanks for watching again. Appreciate the feedback as always. You guys are amazing. Solo community is the best. And if you haven't subscribed or liked, please do. And I will see you in the next episode of Too Many Bones. Until next time, keep rolling solo.